Hey guys, what's going on? So after so many technical difficulties for the past week, I can finally sit down and record this video just fine. So the technical difficulties that I was having before was that I had just too many hubs running into the Steam Deck to the point where it was causing major latency with some of my devices and it was making the videos come out garbage. So I pretty much just sat down and tried to figure out what I can do to fix that stuff. So I had one main USB-C hub that I was using to output my Steam Deck to my monitors to use as a PC. Then I had a bunch of USB hubs going into the USB-C hub to basically connect all of my devices to it. Well, to solve that issue, I ended up getting the official Steam Deck dock the day it released, and well, it took a little bit for it to come in, but the day it released, I ordered the dock, and now I finally have the thing in, and it has multiple USB ports on there. So now I only need to use one USB hub into the dock, which is just one that basically splits the connection between my main PC and the Steam Deck. So technical difficulties should be out of the way now. There shouldn't be any lag in my videos. There shouldn't be any slowdown, anything that I was having issues with before, since this dock is actually decently optimized. I can't say that I love it completely yet because I'm having issues connecting it to two of my monitors with the DisplayPort and HDMI. It doesn't like to do both for some reason. But I'm going to be working with that. I'm sure with the firmware update somewhere down the line, things are going to be fixed. But most of my technical difficulties are out, and that means I can get back to recording videos now. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to be showing off some of the pickups I got within the past 2 weeks. I got one thing, a few things from a customer, and then one thing that I got on the side. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into that. All right, guys. So I was genuinely surprised when I got this one thing from GameStop, and that happens to be a complete in the box copy of Pokemon White 2. So the reason I say I'm surprised is because they no longer train us to look for fake games anymore. At least for the DS and 3DS line, since we're pretty much trying to phase those out for the most part. It's very rare that we even get anybody looking for those anymore. So they don't train us to do that, at least in my locations that I've worked at. So most of the time when people trade things in, they end up trading in fake games and the employees don't notice the difference. I am one of the very few employees, at least in my area, that know the difference between a fake and a real DS game. So whenever I've gotten them in for trade, I've always been able to tell if they were real or fake. So this time around, I got a customer coming in to trade in the complete one. And usually if you see them trading it in a box, that at that point it's got to be the real game. So I inspected it, did all the light tests on it, and to make sure the cartridge was black enough and whatever it was, and verify that it was a real game. Took it in for trade, and then once we took it off of our 22-day trade hold, that's Suffolk County law in New York to keep items on a trade hold for 22 days before we can sell it. Once it came off a trade hold, I immediately bought it because I wanted to get it before anybody else could. So I was very happy to get it. I've been trying to get a full Pokemon collection for a long time, and this now completes my DS Pokemon collection. I still need to get like the complete boxes and the manuals and all that, but this is number 2 of my complete in the box Pokemon game. But I am now missing Fire Red and Leaf Green, and then everything from the original Game Boy and Game Boy Color that I sold from back in the day. So that will happen soon. I will get a full collection somewhere down the line, but for now, I'm happy to have gotten this one. I'm happy to have verified it was real, and yeah, that completes my DS collection of the Pokemon games. All right, guys, so I'm just going to clarify this real quick, just in case my district manager is spying on me. I doubt she is, but let's just, bring this out anyway. So when we take certain items for trade at GameStop, there are certain items that we can't take in. Like, we only really take in Xbox 360 and above at this point. If we take in anything retro, it's really only of like the super rare stuff, and then we send it to the GameStop warehouse. If for some reason we can't take something in for trade, we're not supposed to, offer the customer money and buy it in the store. But my district manager is okay with us talking to them and potentially having a time where we can meet them outside of work hours and outside of the stores. So this one customer came in with a ton of PS2 games, none that we took in for trade, and he also came in with the PS2 console with all of the wires, including component cables, which I almost never see from somebody trying to get rid of stuff. Most of the time, when I see someone trying to get rid of PS2s, they have the composite cable, never the component cable. So that was a big surprise to me. This guy was essentially just looking to get rid of it. He was just trying to get the cash for it. And he was asking me if there are any retro game stores around that would take it instead. And in my area, these retro game stores, they rip people off like crazy. And I told him, I was like, hey, look, you can do that if you want, or you and I can, maybe make up a deal and talk about it on the phone. He looked up the value for all the stuff, and I pretty much told him what the actual value of everything he was giving me was. And when he said he was pretty much just trying to get cash for it fast and not looking to sell it on eBay, I gave him an offer of anywhere between 60 to 70 bucks. And he said, let's go with 65. I said, yeah, that's fair to me. Let's do that. So I didn't do it in the store. I ended up meeting him at a later date. So I met up with him in just a random location, and we ended up doing the deal there. So in that haul with all of the stuff I got, let's just look at some of the games I got and just breeze through that really quickly. So we got Corvette, we got Crash Nitro Kart, I guess the first one. We got the Lord of the Rings Return of the King, which I've actually wanted to get on PS2 because I have it both on GameCube and Xbox. So this completes my collection of the Return of the King. I have it on every console now. Madden 08, which you know I'm never going to play. Medal of Honor Frontline. NFL Game Day 2001. And then Pac-Man World 2. So I feel like for the money I spent, it was perfect for it, considering that the console was also in on the mix. And so yeah, these were all the games that I got there, and this happens to be the PS2 that I got. So I got another FAT, and I was honestly originally getting this for my friend who I didn't realize already had a PS2. When he told me he had the PS2, I figured I would actually use this to replace my current FAT that I'm using, because the PS2 FAT that I have right now, the power button is actually really loose on it. Also, the disk drive, the front panel of it kind of got knocked loose, which somewhat works to my advantage because I have Swap Magic and the slider tool to do the mods on there, but I also have a PS2 Slim that's fully modded to play all the backup games as well that I use Swap Magic on, so I don't necessarily need to have two modded PS2s in one setup. So what I'm just going to end up doing is taking out the modded PS2 FAT and putting in this one since it's in much better condition. And let me tell you guys, this is the best condition I've seen a PS2 in a long time, until I ended up dropping it on my curb. So funny part was he gave me a nice bag. It seemed pretty durable. And when I took it out of my car, the thing fell right out of my bag and the corner hit the curb. It's not like a major scuff or anything. It's like a tiny one, but it was literally perfect until I dropped it. And I feel like garbage knowing that I did that. But other than that, the thing runs perfectly. There isn't any bad damage on the thing at all, minus that little scuff on the corner, which is going to give me OCD to no end at this point. But very happy to have gotten all that stuff from the guy. He was very nice, and he said he might even have some more stuff to sell me. So let's see what happens down the road. I'm actually pretty excited to see what he might have in store, considering that he had some pretty cool stuff in the collection one and had like the better HD cables too. So with that being said, guys, that's the end of the video. I know there were only 2 talking points I talked about in here, but considering the PS2 haul was big enough to where I figured I'd document it, I figured it would just be a good time to talk about that. Plus, I haven't uploaded a video in like over 2 weeks now, and I figured it was a perfect time to do that. So, yeah, my setup is better again because I now have the better Steam Deck dock, other than the one I was using before, so no latency. I'm using my PC for Windows and only using my Steam Deck for Linux. So I'm still debating whether I want to do the review on the Steam Deck. Not 100% sure on that one yet. I am still messing around with it, and if I feel like one day I'm going to do it, then, well, it's probably going to end up being done within the span of a week once I get the motivation to do that. So thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you all in the next one. You know what? I lied. I'm actually going to be telling a story about my history with the PS2, because this is now, I think, my 5th or 6th PS2. I'll figure that out once I pretty much break down all the PS2s that I've had. So I wanted the fat PS2 to play the Guitar Hero games on there, and then play the custom ISOs or the custom ISOs for Guitar Hero 2 just to play custom songs on that engine, since it's much stricter than something like Guitar Hero 3 or Clone Hero in terms of hitting notes. So my friend from the 8th grade ended up giving me his fat PS2. I modded the thing after like a year of owning the thing and broke it because I was a dumb middle schooler that just didn't know what I was doing. So I broke the first one. The next day, I got another PS2, ended up breaking that one, and then for Christmas of that year, I got a PS2 Slim, almost broke it, realized that there was something that I just wasn't putting in correctly. That one ended up working, but I knocked the power button out, so I pretty much now just have to stick a guitar pick in the slot to get the actual physical button from the inside of the PS2 to turn it on. Then I got another PS2 Fat, which ended up having issues, so now this is, let's see, PS2 number 6, I want to say. So yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. Let me do that count real quick, all right? So it was the first one I got that broke, the second one I got that broke, the Slim that I got, the Fat that I got that had some issues that still works but has a little bit of issues, and this. Okay, so this is actually PS2 number 5. So yeah, I figured I'd tell that story to end off the video. It's actually kind of funny, so let's hope this is my last PS2. I can't stop buying PS2s.